Keep your wellness routine going strong all summer. Kachava's new travel packs help you stick to your daily ritual even when you're on the go. Just one packet of Kachava's all-in-one nutrition shake provides complete nutrition wherever you are, with 25 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, greens, adaptogens, and more. Simplify your daily ritual. Go to kachava.com and use code FITNESS for 15% off. That's KACHAVA.com, code FITNESS.
Always follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
No, it is not Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard. It's Dustin Sweetelson, John Jastrzemski. We're with you here to Follow the Money one more day. Don't worry, the boys return tomorrow, back from their vacations, although Mitch went on vacation. Paulie likely did not leave Las Vegas proper. I will, like, minus 10,000. Paulie stayed within the confines of Las Vegas during his quote-unquote vacation. But either way, boys will be back.
That's nothing wrong with it. Hey, listen, I like to travel, so who am I to judge? I like to get out and about. My wife likes to get out and about. But there is something to be said, and I don't, in this line of work that I have, like, make my own schedule. I'm working like crazy. I work because I like to work.
Because it's not a real job, right? It's not a real job.
It's not. It's as I love to tell people, it's not digging ditches. You know what I mean? Like people ask me, "Oh, you're doing a show on Memorial Day?" I go, "Yeah, that's fine.
Do you
it's
watch
not a problem."
Do you watch TV and listen to the radio on Memorial Day? Someone's working.
Yeah, I like working holidays. I don't know. There's something weird about it.
I agree.
Not Christmas Day, I'll pass. Thanksgiving, I'll pass. But like some holidays, I don't mind working because it gets me out of doing stuff that maybe I don't want to do. But I bring all of this up because, Dusty, I could use a week of like a staycation where I just chill, watch my daughter, play golf every day, go on my like. If I had a week of that, that actually sounds appetizing. So if Paulie's enjoying a staycation, more power to him.
You know what? That's a very fair response, and I don't hate it. I don't hate where your head's at. I just think, like, this is the time of year to get away, although I'll be fully transparent. I am 41 years old. I recently got engaged. You've been married. You have a kid. I've never traveled before because I've always lived, like, far away from my parents. My parents are in Atlanta. The rest of my family is in New York. So it's like, if I ever have time away, I go see them, because if not, like, I'm just never going to see them.
Correct. You're traveling to go see your family members.
Yeah, you start doing the depressing math of, well, if I see my parents only twice a year for the next 10 years, I'll see them 20 times before they die. You're like, all right, that's not very uplifting.
That's dusty. I mean, we're in such a good place. Now I'm thinking these terrible, deep-rooted issue thoughts.
But
don't need it.
Now that I have a fiance and she likes to travel, I have had to expand my horizons. Do you know, at 41, I finally got a passport for the first time since, like, I don't know, 2003. The last time I had a passport, went to Mexico City, left the country for the first time in like 25 years. So I've got to do more traveling. Do you and your wife do traveling? That's the question.
We were in Madrid. We actually, believe it or not, she surprised me for that Dolphin Commander debacle. I thankfully covered. Took Miami, my team, -2.5, won that game in overtime. For those of you who remember the Madrid game, that was a cool place to go. Let me tell you this. As a married man, I feel like I'm giving you some friendly advice.
I could use some.
For your honeymoon, 2 pieces of advice.
Got places?
One, don't go right after the wedding.
We're not doing
You're
that.
going to have too much Don't do it. There's too much going on. You're going to be burnt out. Maybe go and do like a 24, 48-hour thing, 72-hour thing that's close, that's local, that's easy.
I like that.
That would be my advice there. 2, go somewhere on your honeymoon that you will never go ever again.
I like that.
Why do I say that? I went to South Africa.
Ooh.
And, dude, it was incredible.
Ooh.
It's the longest trip I've ever taken in my life, 17 days. Safari, wine country, got a little golf in. My wife actually allowed me to do that for a couple of days.
You brought clubs on a honeymoon?
No. Yeah, you got to rent. I won't bring it. You're not checking the bag going from London to Cape Town, South Africa. Probably not a good idea. But I'll probably never go to South Africa again, and it was awesome. So there's that.
Dude, I love that. Yeah, we're looking like tropical. I just want to be on the water. I want drinks.
You want to chill.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I want to be sunburnt. That's what I want at the end of things. So you know what? Next time we work together, we're gonna do like JJ's marital advice coming up here every single show.
It feels weird getting that from me because like I'm a newly-ish married guy.
Oh, how long ago?
Hey, for the 2023.
Oh no, dude, that's 3 years, dude. No,
That's not newish. I don't know what qualifies newish. I mean,
no, 3 years. You're in a routine at this point.
I'm a seasoned vet at this point. I mean, when you have a kid, then all of that crap goes out the window. As you know.
Yeah, it's true.
You'll find out soon enough.
It's funny how quick you get viewed as an adult once you have a child. Even though when you're like, I am not an adult. Trust me, I'm not an adult.
Well, I'm like the Sabrina Carpenter man-child. That's me in a nutshell. What can I say? If you thought you the listener right now is probably like, really? We got a Sabrina Carpenter reference on VSiN. JJ, really? Yeah, I gave it to you. I'm very diverse. What can I say? I can play with the old and the new. That's what I do.
We cover all the bases here. Speaking of covering the bases, that's a horrible transition, but I had to do it. 9th inning, my bet on the Diamondbacks. It is Paul Sewald facing Rafi Devers right now. 3-2 game, Diamondbacks with the lead. I need them to close the door so we can, I think we laid 128, 130, something like that on Arizona. That's looking good. Also, our under we bet at the start of the show, Phillies Padres 2-0 in the 8th inning.
No
right?
funny business, Dusty. No
Also,
funny business. Zeros. That's what we want.
Weird line. 167 last night. Philly was favored. We got down to 128, minus 128 here at Circa. Really regret not taking that number with the Fightin' Phils on the road. They're about to sweep the Padres if they can finish the job in the last couple innings. Let's see if we can find a couple more winners on the board for tonight's games. And let's go with that winning streak that I alluded to earlier. The Chicago Cubs have lost 10 in a row, JJ. It's Bubba Chandler and Jameson Taillon doing battle at PNC. Pittsburgh minus 125, plus a 104 with the Cubbies. Total in the game is 8.5. The question is, do you bet into or against this streak if you're looking at this game tonight?
Yesterday, to your credit, you were all over the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, they came out with a force.
Took care of business for you. I would look at this spot and I would scream Chicago Cubs. You want to know why? Bubba Chandler's not exactly lighting the world on fire. He's pitching to a 4.6 ERA. And I know you don't want to be of the mindset of, hey, a believer in Dew. It never ends well because Dew could be another few games from now. After all, we did see the New York Mets this year lose 12 consecutive games. So there's already been a crazy losing streak in the sport. The Cubs are not this bad. You know what I mean? They're not this bad. Sooner or later, I feel like we got to get a win, and this streak has got to come to an end. I don't love it. It's not one of my favorite plays of the day. Taillon, experience, pitching in that ballpark, the former Pittsburgh Pirate.
Yep.
You can tell there's not a lot of conviction in my voice, but I just think the Pirates have become way too steamed and way too public. It's Cubs or pass for me, so I would not get on Pittsburgh. If I'm betting aside in this game, I'm taking the Cubbies.
I agree with you. 10 games at this point, and Chandler's off his best start of the year, but that means there's probably also data the Cubs are looking at here to probably look to a way to exploit him here. Taillon has good numbers against his former team. So he saw them earlier this year, back on April 12th. 6 innings, 6 earned. I shouldn't say good numbers there. Good strikeout numbers. 10 strikeouts there. Last year, 6 innings shutout baseball against them in one start, 3 strikeouts, 6 1/3. The other one, 7 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. He's not a great road pitcher overall, Taillon. He pitches to contact at times, but having 10 strikeouts against the same lineup he saw just like a little over a month ago, I don't hate the idea of over 4.5 Ks on him, but I don't like it enough to get home and actually bet it. I'm with you. If I'm betting that one, I am looking at the Cubbies at a bit of a plus price. Now, you're going back to the well. Someone let you down. They hurt you last night, and you're saying, you know what? I'm going to stick by them today with the Boston Red Sox. Connolly early takes on Bryce Elder at Fenway. Boston minus 115. The Bravos minus 105. Total in the game is 8. Why do you like the Red Sox here?
Yeah, it's disturbing that I'm going back to the well here with Boston, but it's all about early. I think he has the sort of stuff that could combat and slow down that super potent Atlanta Braves offense. And You go back to the game 24 hours ago, I was feeling super, super good about it. Red Sox get off to a fast start. Then all the wheels unravel from a bullpen standpoint, from a defense standpoint. And the Red Sox showed you why they've been one of the biggest disappointments that the sport has to offer this year. But this is a Connolly early bet. I think an under in this game is something you can consider at under 8. But Red Sox in it for 5 innings, fell apart in the late part of the game. Elder, we talk about a market correction, Dusty. Feel like the market correction at some point in time is coming for Bryce Elder, who does not exactly have wipeout, dominant, crazy stuff. And a lot of the underlying metrics are not exactly on the side of Elder. I think it's a Red Sox spot.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy with Elder because 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, he was awesome, but he wasn't missing bats. Then it came back the other way. He wasn't very good. Now this year, the numbers have been tremendous, right? The surface level stuff. But I agree. At some point, he gets banged around. I don't know if Boston hits him a ton. I think we had this exact meeting last time they faced each other. It was 3-2. I give the edge to early at home, so I stayed away from it, but that's something I thought about. Now, you and I are going to live dangerously here. We are going to back the New York Metropolitans, who have lost 5 in a row. They're minus 120 at home against the Reds and Andrew Abbott. Total in the game is 8.5. Why are we going to be celebrating that ticket and them getting off the schneid?
Well, I think from a standpoint of pitching, people are going to be scared off by the opener. The Mets have actually done pretty decently in these opener games. You're going to have Brazoban started off. Then it's going to be Jonah Tong, who looked really impressive his last outing against the Miami Marlins. We talked about this before the show. The Met offense stinks. They've been absolutely painful. They've been one of the worst offenses in the sport. They do have a bunch of guys in the lineup, though, that had good success against Abbott. And if you want to have a little fun here, over total bases and Juan Soto to go and hit a home run. He has been as hot as anybody before the injury. Then he got sick. He's been roping the ball since he's come back off, his little 48-hour hiatus. I think it's a Met spot. And for what it's worth, Dusty, they lose this game today. You got to be wondering if Carlos Mendoza is managing the team.
Oh, no, he's got to be fired. By the way, Soto, 5 of 11 lifetime against Abbott. I like where your head's at. Vientos, 4 of 8 with a homer against Abbott. Does well against lefties. Give me the Mets all day long, minus $1.20. We'll do more on the baseball card later on this hour, as I have a play on a rookie making his debut in the American League. But when we return, we'll hit the Oklahoma City Thunder, what they've done to the Spurs, and a key component last night. You'll hear from Isaiah Hart. Down.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Follow the Money, Dustin Sweetelson, John Jastrzemski. We got you covered here. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158, YouTube TV, the VSiN Watch app, radio affiliates across the United States of God bless America. Game 4 on the ice tonight. Canadians and Hurricanes. Nice little standalone spot. There's no NBA to go head-to-head with them. Feels like the NHL does a good job of capitalizing. I'm not saying they manipulate the drama. I'm just saying, like, when all eyeballs are on the NHL, it does feel like they come through and give us some entertainment. Carolina leads the series 2-1. Right now, for tonight, we're looking at Carolina favored on the road, minus 155, plus $1.30 with the Canadians. Your total's 5.5. JJ, look, we're not the 2 biggest hockey guys in the world. That's why we outsource this stuff to guests when they come on the show. But just looking at this game and situation in this series, one, Montreal has traditionally in this playoffs, they've been better on the road than at home. Now, their struggles at home have actually come in the second game of series, not the first game, but they lost the first game of this series in overtime, and I do believe that was a bit of a statement from Carolina. You got some fresher legs now where Carolina got a game under their belt, right? They got back into action, and you got Montreal on the other side, who's gone to the brink their last 2 series. I thought in overtime, with their inability to get a shot on net, The Canadians look completely gassed. I like Carolina tonight, but I'm not going minus 155. If I'm betting this thing, I'll lay that 1.5, hope for an empty netter, and go get plus $1.70 on the puck line with the Canes.
Okay. Bold move taking the plus 177. I'd go the other way here. I'll take Montreal plus the 130. And yes, there might have been some tired legs in that overtime, but we're still talking about a team that has lost 2 consecutive games in overtime. So what does that tell you? It tells you they're right there with the Hurricanes. And they strike me as a team that has gone on this sort of signature playoff run that's not going to go quietly into the night. That's just the feel I have with the Canadians. I don't have the fullest of trust in Carolina to go and take no prisoners here. I'm going to go grab plus 130. Bet on the fact that this is going to end up being a lengthy series. Think we get a 6th or a 7th game. But listen, if Carolina wins, I hope they win by margin. So you go cash that plus 177. So I'll go heads up with you. I'll take the Canadians. Not one of my best bets of the night. But good luck. Plus 177 is always appetizing.
One of us will be right. That's all that matters. We get to claim that the show was correct.
Hopefully. They won't be if Carolina wins by 1. We don't want that.
True. Now, we joined forces at the start of the show. So about 2 hours ago, we were previewing this Phillies and Padres game. You know what? We should have faded that steam. Philly just hit a solo homer. Trey Turner just went deep to left field off the warehouse, top shelf. 3-0 Philly with the lead. Our under, I still think, is okay. That's 7.
I was going to say, Dusty, no more runs. That's it. Keep it as is.
We're good on the under. But big picture, what was the market thinking that things were going to come to an end for Christopher Sanchez? Like, this guy, we're looking at what now? He threw 7 innings, I want to say today, right? 7 innings. So we're at 39 straight scoreless innings for Christopher Sanchez. He has morphed from last year where he became this legit Cy Young threat. He's taken things to just a different level now.
I think the market was thinking 2 particular elements. One, Philly's already accomplished their goal in this series. They've had a successful series, betting on that. 2, the fact that the Philly offense could be kept in check. And let's be real about this. Dusty, they've only scored 3 runs in a game.
Yeah.
It's not like Philly went out and pounded Walker Buehler. That big gem that Sanchez worked out of early in the game, that kind of was his springboard. The minute he got out of that, and you see this a lot with great pitchers, if you're going to get them, you got to get them early. Padres had a chance, didn't capitalize, and they haven't had many better chances since.
By the way, Cy Young market has adjusted here. Chris Sanchez plus $1.50, as I mentioned, 7 innings, 6 hits, no runs, 9 strikeouts for him. God, I stared at that strikeout prop. I stared at the outs recorded, and instead I went first 5 minus a half run. I might ban myself from that bet. It's not a fun sweat. There's so much urgency with it. Next time I'm looking at the outs recorded or the case, but he's now your favorite at plus 150. Mizorowski's plus 280. How about this? Paul Skeens up to 5-1. When the heck have you ever been able to bet Paul Skeens 5-1 for Cy Young?
You're not going to get a better price than 5-1. No way.
And let's be fair here. He has not been as dominant the last couple times out. There's plenty of room left for him to make things right, to become that ace again, to put up the eye-popping numbers, especially in the summer months. And also, pitchers get hurt all the time. That's why betting the Cy Young market can be so difficult at times. You may be sitting on a great spot, and I'm not talking about guys being out for the year, but if someone were to hit the IL and miss 2, 3, 4 starts, that will be held against them if the numbers don't compare at the end of the season. So because of that's why I'd consider Paul Skeens at 5-1 on that value play. Chris Sale's 8-1. Shohei is 9-1. I still think there's value on Shohei. The question is just the innings at the end of the season.
So I think this is probably the best you're going to get the Skeens number.
I agree.
The only reason I'd be a little skeptical is there going to be some voter fatigue?
Oh, 100%.
It's a fair question to have. If Mizorowski wows, if Sanchez wows, hey, let's get some new blood for the Cy Young Award this year. You almost in betting these awards, Dusty, you almost have to think the way the voters think. Sometimes you have to get out of your bubble and you have to get out of your realm and you got to say, all right, how are voters going to look at this award, not just in Philadelphia, not just in San Diego, not just in Los Angeles, but across the country? and kind of come to that consensus. They may have some Livy Dunn, Paul Skeens fatigue. We shall see.
You know, I'm glad you brought up the voting fatigue, and you're dead on there. When you're handicapping this stuff, you're not handicapping who you think wins. You're handicapping the voters and who they will end up giving their vote to. And I almost asked you this during Do You Concur when we did that earlier in the show. By the way, you missed that. You can always go back, download the show wherever you get your podcasts. I was going to say SGA will not win a third straight most valuable player award because of fatigue. It's not just the voting fatigue. I think this narrative that's out there right now on social media, people are sick of this foul baiting, the flopping, getting to the line. He may have the best season of his career next year. I don't think in any way, shape, or form he wins 3 in a row because people are sick of watching this.
I totally agree, especially knowing what Wembanyama is going to end up doing for San Antonio. And there's always the Joker who can go and just wow you statistically, where it's like, all right, Denver wins 55 games. Joker's averaging a triple-double a night. Go and give him the award. Or if Giannis gets traded somewhere and has a monster Giannis renaissance, and I don't know if that's Golden State or Miami or Cleveland, wherever, and he's a big part of the NBA once again, yeah, I'm not putting anything on SGA to go and win a third straight MVP. Don't think it happens.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
You know what's interesting, too, is DraftKings did post NBA championship odds for next year. Those are officially up and available.
It's amazing they put these out before before you even hit the summertime.
Dude, we don't know who's going to be on any of these teams, and I think it's going to be a very active offseason. Thunder are the favorite next year, plus 230, and I can guarantee someone at a sports book somewhere is betting this by mistake, thinking it's this year's finals price, thinking they got a great
100%.
number on the Thunder, and they're going to go to cash it and be like, what happened? You got to wait a whole calendar year.
It's got to sit in your account for a year. Enjoy.
They're
maybe a good price, maybe not so much.
How about this, though? They're plus 230. The respect for San Antonio, plus 260. I think that's fair. Boston's plus 340. The Knicks are 11-1. Cleveland and Boston, 19-1 and 25-1. Cleveland fascinates me because at 19-1, I wouldn't bet it if you told me that they were running this roster back next year with Kenny Atkinson returning as head coach. But if you told me that they were going to make a bunch of moves, maybe it's moving Mobley for Giannis, maybe it's swapping Harden out for some other pieces, whatever it may be, maybe it's LeBron coming back home, I might be able to consider Cleveland. But at 19-1, if they just run it back, I want no part of that squad.
Curiously, I don't know if you have those odds in front of you. What is Minnesota?
30-1, a little bit longer than Denver at 25-1. The Lakers, Pacers, also 30-1, just to compare and contrast.
Pacers are interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
As it is.
And they own the Knicks. They own the Knicks.
That's the thing. If the Knicks have to see Halliburton again in the playoffs, I don't care who else is playing with them. They do not want that matchup at all. The Lakers are kind of intriguing just depending on what they do, maybe with that salary cap that they lost losing LeBron potentially. I think Minnesota's interesting as well. Denver 25-1. I don't know what to make of that team.
I don't like it. I feel like their best days are behind them.
I think
I don't like it.
I think they might have to make a big move just to keep Jokic happy. Maybe that's moving on from Murray, even though he's coming off his best year, but maybe it's the time to sell high. Detroit at 25-1. If they could ever find the proper number 2 to play alongside Cade Cunningham, I would believe in them because they got a dog mentality. They play great defense, but there's just not enough help for Cade Cunningham for me to bet them right now at 25-1.
Yeah, and a lot of people thought they had super juicy prices on the Pistons. They were 1 seed, and then you're down 3-1 to the Magic. You lose a game 7 at home to the Cavaliers. Need more scoring, need more shooting.
All right, what do we make of Game 6 of the NBA Finals? Is this thing over, or do we force a Game 7? We'll discuss with Matt Youmans on the other side of Follow the Money.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Rolling on, Follow the Money. Dustin Sweetelson, John Jastrzemski got you covered here today, the next 30 minutes. Then don't worry, Mitch and Paul, they return. They'll be back the rest of the week. They'll guide you through the weekend as we get set for the NBA postseason, the conference finals in the West. We'll know if we'll have a Game 7 after tomorrow night. I hope we get a Game 7. My general vibe, though, JJ, is we're not getting Game 7. I'm curious what our next guest thinks of that. He is Matt Youmans. He is the OG. They call him the Unk around here. At Matt Youmans 247. You can find him on X and weekdays on VSiN Primetime from 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And he joins us on the Progressive Guest Line. What's your general vibe on this series right now, Matt? After last night, Oklahoma City feels like they made a statement. Do you think the Spurs, who are laying 3.5 in Game 6, do you think they're capable of forcing a Game 7 here?
By the way, first of all, it's great to be on with Dusty and JJ. And I was going to say Mitch and Paul are going to be missed. I heard a rumor that this show was going to be permanent, so I guess that's not the case.
Well, it depends. If Paul Howard left the country, I don't know if he's going to be allowed in, but you know this, minus 10,000, Paul Howard did not leave Las Vegas during his vacation?
I was going to say Paul Howard did not leave the city limits. There's no way. All right, so you know what? I think the Spurs made more of a statement last night. I think the Spurs made a statement that they're too immature, too young to win this series. And I hated the way they played last night. It was more bad basketball. They reverted to their Game 3 form, where they did not get Wemby around the basket. The guard, it's two things. One is the guards have to make an effort to dump the ball down to Wemby in the low post. He's got to work to get position. He can't be a 7'5" 3-point shooter. He had one made field goal in the first half last night. That is inexcusable. And I put that on coaching too. The coach has got to drill it into the guards that when Wemby works into the low post, you got to be patient. You got to get the ball to him. They can't just jack up threes. I think the Spurs shot 41 threes last night, and they don't shoot it well enough from three to put it up 41 times. Wemby finished last night 4 for 15, 0 for 5 from three. The De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper combination, just not getting it done. Those guys were a combined 5 for 20 from the field. And, you look at two guys who were no-shows in the previous game for the Thunder. Alex Caruso and McCain combined for 42 points last night. So there were a lot of questions who was going to step up for OKC. Those two guys did. Thunder put up 127 points, 38 free throw attempts. SGA, 16 for 17 from the free throw line. Like, some of those are bogus fouls, but they were fouling him too. You just can't foul the guy that often. I thought it was a horrendous performance by the Spurs last night, and I really don't have any faith that they can win the series at this point. Can they force a Game 7? Maybe, but I'm not even sure what I'm going to bet in Game 6. I'm thinking about playing the under, but I don't have a play for you at this point. I can tell you I'm very discouraged after watching the Spurs play last night.
Totally get that, Matty. Listen, I think San Antonio's cooked. I expect Oklahoma City to take care of business. I will be taking them plus 3.5, and I think they win the game outright. Yeah. And then we get ready for Knicks Thunder in a little under a week. Okay, we got a big game on the ice. Montreal looking to even the series up at 2 apiece. Carolina 150 and change is a favorite. I know my guy Dusty is playing a puck line at plus 176. I am taking the Canadians. I'll let you break the tie. Who do you like on the ice this evening?
Well, Dusty is known as a hockey savant, but in this case, I'm going to go with you, JJ. JJ, I'm going with you here. I'm going to play the Canadians at plus 132. Not a big bet for me, but I did play it here. The Canadians looked like they were going to win Game 3, and in fact, they had the go-ahead goal. Everyone was celebrating. You show the replay, they're offsides by a fraction of a second there, and you take the goal off the board, and they end up losing the game. I thought the Canadians were outplaying the Carolina Hurricanes for long stretches here in the first 3 games, and I like them to bounce back and tie this series tonight. I don't have a lot of reasons other than I like the home team here after a heartbreaking loss in Game 3 to come back and tie this series tonight. The price is right at plus 130.
It is Follow the Money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Youmans is our guest, the host of VSiN Primetime right here on the network, weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Before we get to your baseball, I want to talk to you about the Charles Schwab, because looking at your plays here this week in the golf. So for people that don't know this, Matt's like kind of a mentor around here to some of us. Like, as a producer, he never spoke to me like, you're beneath me, you're a producer. He always respected my opinion, talk sports, whatever. And he knows I'm not the biggest golf guy. And I've bet Ludwig Oberg a couple times now. And last time I bet him, he was like, dude, you can't bet that guy to win a tournament. He never finishes the job. Yet I'm looking at the plays from Matt here. 10-1 on Oberg to win, also a top 10 plus 145. He is the favorite in the market. What do you like about him in this spot?
It's FOMO, Dusty. It's a fear of missing out when Ludwig Oberg finally wins a tournament. And if he's going to win a tournament, this has got to be it. Look at how weak this field is. He's by far the most talented player here. Is he going to choke on Sunday afternoon? Yeah, he probably will. But I played him at 10-1, and I also to back that up, just to cover your futures bet, played him top 10 at plus 144. Right, so if you play the top 5, top 10, top 20 markets, that can make up for some of your futures losses if you go on a bit of a dry run. And if you've been betting Oberg, you've been on a dry run. I have not bet him for several months, but I think this is the type of tournament that sets up for either a guy like Oberg to outclass the field, or we're going to see some long shots on the leaderboard on Sunday. This is one of those, find a needle in a haystack type of things where you're going to have some, I think some long shots have a shot to win it, but it's a wide open tournament. He is the best player, and he's going to win. At some point, he's going to break through and win. For a long time, people gave me crap about betting Cameron Young because he couldn't close the deal, and it was fair. But then he finally got over the hump and closed, and he's a much more worthy contender in a lot of these tournaments now. Oberg, he's got to figure out how to close, and this is a perfect tournament to do it in Fort Worth this week on this course. He shouldn't have many problems with it. So 10-1 and plus 144 top 10. Also played Ricky Fowler. I don't have a lot of faith in Fowler not choking on Sunday either, so I actually played him at top 20 at plus 128. And Justin Thomas is a favorite by a lot of touts this week, and I can see why. If you look at current form and some other things with JT, I think he profiles well this week, but I don't have a lot of faith in JT to win either. So I played him top 10 at plus 305. This is going to be an interesting tournament here where I think you are going to have some triple-digit long shot numbers, guys on the leaderboard on Sunday afternoon.
Matty, let's do some baseball. Yankees, they own the Kansas City Royals. They've just been spanking them. They had a good comeback win on Monday. Dusty and I were on the right side of that. Then they laid a smackdown with Schlittler on the mound. It's crazy. Schlittler now even money to go win the Cy Young. Well, a former Cy Young Award winner is on the bump Wednesday. Garrett Cole looked really impressive in his first start. He's a big favorite. This has come down a little bit. Yankees down under 150 on the Circus Sportsbook. What's your play for Yanks Royals final game of the series?
JJ, last night I played Schlittler in a round robin. The price was high. I should have played him on the run line. Obviously, the Yankees in a blowout last night. Sometimes it's just easy when you back the dominant pitcher in a pitching mismatch. And we've seen a lot of those come in the last couple of days. In fact, by the way, did the Phillies close out the Padres this afternoon with Sanchez on the mound? It was in the ninth inning.
We need that under.
Yeah,
I hope so. We need that under.
We're good. 3-0.
Cash it. Beautiful.
It's over. Good. Yeah, I played Sanchez today. It looked too easy, but I said let's go ahead and play it. Padres are pitiful offensively right now. Nobody's more dominant than Sanchez. Garrett Cole, last time out, his four-seam fastball averaged 96 miles an hour. And as rehab starts, he's hitting 98, 99. His stuff looks great. I don't really have a concern with the quality of Cole's pitches. Against the Rays on May 22nd, 6 innings, no earned runs, 2 hits, 3 walks. He didn't have the typical strikeout numbers with only 2, but he had 72 pitches, kind of a trial run. I thought he looked really good. And then on the flip side tonight, you got Noah Cameron, I believe, is going to make the start for the Royals. They don't have much pitching depth. The Royals, they threw their best gun, Michael Wacha, on Monday, and they got beat. Noah Cameron, a lefty here, 47 2/3 innings, 53 hits, 25 earned runs. Yankees got a lot of confidence offensively, I think, right now, especially after what they did yesterday. So I did play Garrett Cole here at minus 147.
Yeah, I like it. Yankees kill left-handed pitching, too. I'm on their team total tonight, so I think we all like the Yankees in some way, shape, or form. He is Matt Youmans. You can catch him weekdays here, VSiN Primetime, 4 to 8 p.m. West Coast, 7 to 11 on the East Coast. Appreciate the time, as always, Matt. I'll see you soon.
Okay. You bet, guys. Thanks.
Also, JJ, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Youmans has a 300-1 on Schlittler, AL Cy Young, from the preseason.
I know, outrageous. Him and Hill, I'm jealous of both of them, to be honest with you. Jealous.
I keep telling people, even if Schlittler doesn't win it, Matt Youmans could theoretically bet every other contender in the market and still make money on that bet if he wanted to.
At 100 to 1, yeah. I mean, as long as the Cy Young Award race is not going to end up being 10 guys.
300 to 1. 300 to 1. Like that. Look, I've hit a few big futures in my time, like 75 to 1 Paul Goldschmidt, NL MVP. We're talking more than 3 times that. That's as good of a bet as you could have. Right now, he's even money in the market. He's going to be odds on very, very soon. So awesome that Matt's got that. I'm sure he'll talk about hedging that potentially down the road. All right, when we return, a little in pocket. We'll look back on how the bets went last night. Hint, they were very good, and we will do a lot with tonight's baseball card. That's next on Follow the Money.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
In pocket plays, we'll look back at what went down last night before giving you our favorite plays for the card today. And I got to tell you, the segment's a lot more fun when the bets are hitting. And this was how it went last night on the program. We were both on the Thunder laying the 4.5. Hartenstein easily got there, the over 9.5 rebounds and assists. How about also Cam Schlittler over 5.5 punch-outs? The Pirates with a no-sweat winner, minus 130 against the Cubbies. Joe Ryan, we double-dipped. We went over 17.5 outs, over 6.5 Ks. That one was plus $1.38. They both clear those numbers. The one loser, the Braves Red Sox, I had the under 8. And then the Reds money line. Chase Burns with a gem against the Metropolitans. We also had first 5 on the Guardians yesterday in show. That got home at plus 108. Earlier today, I went 2 and 3 to begin the day. Minus a half run, first 5 Guardians. That was a winner, but God, it was lucky. We also lost the first 5 minus a half run with the Phillies. And then Logan Gilbert K's. Over 5.5 at minus 143 cashes. Over 6.5 at plus 126 does not. And then one missing here. We did have the Diamondbacks money line at vsin.com/picks at minus 126. That was a winner. 3 and 2 to start the day. Can we remain profitable? TBH on that. Here are the plays for the rest of the day. We're going the New York Metsies. Brazoban, the opener, handing it off to the kid Jonah Tong. I think this is a spot where the Mets bats. They wake up a bit against Andrew Abbott. He pitches to contact. He's a lefty. They will find a way to snap this 5-game skid. I'm also looking at the Bronx Bombers. Give me the Yankees. Over 4.5 on the team total. It's a little juicy at minus 132. Yankees number 1 in OPS, number 1 in homers against Southpaws. I don't think Noah Cameron is blowing it by any of these guys in the Yankees lineup. I'm also on the White Sox. I thought about Davis Martin at about minus 110 in his debut. He does miss a lot of bats, but that's all been in the minors. So instead, I'm going to look at, or David Sandlin, not Davis Martin, David Sandlin's debut today for the White Sox. I'm going team total over 3.5 on Chicago. You got on the other side, Connor Prelup, a lefty. Chicago's 4th in OPS, 2nd in homers against Southpaws. I think they score plenty of runs. And then finally, I kicked myself for not betting the Dodgers team total last night, so I'm sure this won't end well for me, but give me the Dodgers team total, plus 110 on over 5.5 runs scored against Sugano and the Rockies. He does not miss bats. They mash everyone. I think they go off again and go over 5.5. JJ, you're next.
You know, Dusty, you give us so many great plays, and there's so much quantity. I think the lesson for me, and this is my first couple of days of doing Follow Money.
No, don't learn from me. No, but I'm the wrong guy.
The audience, you know, I'll put it to the audience. You know, I try to be selective with these because obviously we are being graded. I should have maybe thrown a couple more in here, but be that as it may, let's take a look at what we did yesterday. By the way, 3 of 4. Never going to complain about going 3 of 4 in a baseball game. We went 3 of 4 with the wagers. Dusty and I simpatico on OKC. Never a sweat against San Antonio, who did not have their star players show up. OKC minus 4.5 was a winner. Unfortunately, the Boston Red Sox let us down, yucked up a lead in the mid-innings. They lost to the Braves. And then we had that first 5 national bet winner there, and the Phillies, who took care of business in sweeping the San Diego Padres. Now, what do we have in store for the plays on this particular evening? Let's take a look. 2 on the diamond. Orioles. I can't believe I'm doing it, Dusty. They've had a good series against Tampa Bay. I think you're seeing a little bit of a market correction with the Rays. And this line tells you all you need to know. The Orioles, their record. Rays, their record. I'm getting even money with Baltimore. That's one I am on. Red Sox, I can't believe I'm going back to the well, but I am going back to the well. Connolly early goes and shuts down the Atlanta Braves. And I think you'll see Mr. Elder, who's been so hot to start up this year, regress to the mean a little bit here. So I'm taking two mediocre teams in the AL East. There are a couple we got to add here, though. So I'm sorry. I either didn't text them. Who knows? Might have got lost in translation. I'll blame myself because I'm an accountable guy, and I probably didn't text them because I'm out to lunch. That happens. Mets. All over the Mets today.
Let's go.
Don't like the spot for the Reds. They won the first two games of the series. Soto back in the lineup. Let's take the Mets at minus 120. It might be a little lower on the Circa Sportsbook. Mets to take care of Cincinnati. And then we could add the basketball because I'm all over this. Oklahoma City is winning. I'll take them plus 3.5 to be safe. I think plus 130 on the money line. It's also a good bet to make. This series is over before we get to a seventh game. I just think the inexperience of the Spurs shows. Oklahoma City, yeah, their role players didn't show up in game 4. I expect them to show up in game 6. A little bit more newfound confidence out of Chet Holmgren. And one of these games, you're going to get SGA to go off, and he's going to be efficient when he goes off in the process. So let's add one more on the hardwood. Thunder, plus 3.5 to wrap up in pocket plays, Dusty Boy.
By the way, A.J. Mitchell already ruled out for Game 6. Jalen Williams listed as questionable officially. So all of John's picks, my picks from every show available, VSiN.com/picks. The clock is ticking, though. You want to see those picks. You also want to see all the data, the articles, the information, the Opta AI player prop projections, the betting splits from DraftKings and Circa. Well, the best VSiN Pro offer of the year, it is going away in just a few days. It's your final week to get full VSiN Pro access, normally $240 for just $199, and we're going to throw in 2 extra months for free. 14 months, VSiN Pro, less than 50 cents a day. All you got to do is use the promo code PRO when you go to VSiN.com/subscribe. He's John Jastrzemski. I'm Dustin Sweetelson. Appreciate you hanging out with us here this week on Follow the Money. It's been awesome to fill in for the boys. Awesome to work with JJ for the first time. And also, I am the last person here you want to follow in terms of the volume of bets. I have a problem. And my problem is I believe that this job is about having opinions. People tune in. They want to know what your opinion is. And what I do is I try to make the cases for things. And if I really like what I'm finding, I wind up firing. The much sharper thing to do is bet on 1 or 2 games a day.
Forget about that, though, Dusty. I get that. Let me ask you, because you are a VSiN veteran, you've worked with a bunch of different people forever. What is the general consensus for people with the best bets on this network? Well, I'm curious. Do they usually go 5? Do they go 3? Do they go 10? What's the consensus?
Dude, the sharpest people out there are probably betting 1 game every few days.
I know that. I'm talking about the hosts on a channel.
No. Look, I'm probably like me, Wes Reynolds, a few other. We fire on everything across the board. Everyone's got their specialties. And as a lot of people like crush their certain sports. So it all depends on where we're at in those seasons for those specific sports. But I think there's probably a lighter way to do it than I do it. But look, dude, I like the action. I like having fun.
Well, I get it. And honestly, Dusty, like during football season, I don't know if you have this problem. I have a hard time narrowing down my favorite bets.
Oh, 100%.
I have a hard time with it.
And I'm a big...
Where I'm just like, I would almost in a Circa contest prefer to pick every... They're not going to do this. I don't think Derek is changing the contest anytime soon. But I almost would like to pick every game.
Oh, yeah.
Because then I wouldn't stress right decision, wrong decision. Is it my 4th game of the week or my 6th game of the week? That's what drives me crazy with this stuff.
Dude, I think you may have just kind of created something. The idea of a pick the entire card situation for a contest. Here's what I would like, though, in those things. And people would hate, it's too much. You're leaving too much up in the air. If you did pick the entire card, but you have to have a bet on every game, and you could do sides and totals. That's it. Nothing else. Sides and totals for the game, but you have to have 1 bet for every game. Then we're really finding out who's got the sharp hand out there.
I'm intrigued. No props, though. No,
because also the juice is so different on them. You just have them set the lines, whatever the spread, the total is on the cutoff date of the week. That's when we start. That's when we look. The problem is with totals. Totals tend to get manipulated a lot more than sides at times, especially if there's bad weather. So because of that, They probably want to avoid totals for contest stuff, but still, I think that could be a lot of fun. At least one bet on every single game, every single week. I think that's a good way to go about it.
Hey, I'm always here for suggestions. That said, as I've said all week, very much looking forward to it some point during the summer, or maybe it's like that Thursday or Friday after Labor Day, doing my annual circa donation for the Millions and the Survivor. Hey. Sooner or later, one of these years, I got to cash, right? One of these years.
It's crazy when you get eliminated, you never forget how and why you got eliminated. Like last year, I got eliminated the Thursday night game, Rams at the Niners, Mac Jones on one leg.
Tough one.
I'll remember it for the rest of my life. So, yeah, you got to get out here.
At least you didn't have the Arizona Cardinals as your knockout pick.
Was that yours? Because that was a bad one. That's
the
like
Tennessee Titan one.
DeMercado on the edge of the goal line, dropping the football. You'll remember that till the day you die, honestly. All right. That'll do it for us here.
Probably would have lost. You know what's the silver lining? I probably would have lost a week or two later. So it is what it is.
That'll do it. He's John Jastrzemski. I'm Dustin Sweetelson. Thanks for hanging out with us. Coming up next, it's VSiN Prime Time. Femi Abebefe, Will Hill, they got you covered. And wake up every single day. VSiN by the books, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.